Today we are going to solve another interesting problem, number 179, largest number. And the problem says we have been given a list of non-negative numbers, integers. So non-negative integers means we have 0 also included in the set of positive integers, and we want to arrange them such that they form the largest number and return it. Since the return value may be large, we want to return a string instead of a integer, and we have one number 10 and 2 nums, so we can make two numbers out of that, 2 and 210. So out of, if we have 10 and 2, so we can make two strings like 2110 and one is 102, and out of these two we want this bigger one. Okay, so let's apply. Now we need to come up with an algorithm using which we can find the largest number for this case of 3, 3, 3, 4, 5, and 9. So our usual sorting won't work because that would give us the general number like 9, then the maximum number is 34. So initially the 34, 30, and then 9, 5, and 3. So we cannot directly go with just sorting, but what we can do is we can smartly make sorting to work in our favor of generating the largest number out of the given set of strings, that given set of numbers we have. What we'll do is first we'll convert this whole number into string, and then we can do comparison based on string values. So what I mean by that is between 3 and 30, I can arrange these number in two ways. So if I pick the first number and combine it with second number, or I can pick the second number and I can combine it with the first number. So if I do that, so I can have two numbers in this form. So I have 330 or I have 303. So now we can compare these two numbers with each other, and based on these values of their comparison, we can assign one key to our sorting on which we can sort this function. So I will assign the key of -1 if the number 1 plus number 2 is bigger than the number 2 plus 1. So I will say that this should return -1 to me in this case, and this position should return 1 to me. So similarly, we can apply this concept of algorithm over here, and we can see that between 34 and 35, the two numbers that we can generate using this same logic are 3, 4, 5 and 5, 4, 3. So we are going with the right portion, so we'll assign 1 to both our one key to both the numbers, and with 9, the largest number that anything could come up with is just 9, because 9 is the greatest of all the numbers that we can have. So, and now what we'll do is we'll sort this based on our keys. So now what we'll get is we'll get our new array like this: 9, 5, 34, 30, and 3, and we can immediately join these to become the number 9434303. So that way we can have a largest number using the example. And one thing, it is not clear in the problem that what they want us to do in case we have a example like this. If we have 0 and 0, then they would want us to directly return 0. So we have to handle that case as well. So for that, we'll handle it during the code that we are writing. So now let's go into the coding part and see how we can write this algorithm that we have developed over here into reality. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is we need to convert our numbers into string. So for that we'll iterate the array, and for every number we'll directly convert it into the string and store it in the nums that we have. And now we want to sort based on our key. So for that, to there is a special function inside the Python library called comp to key, which gives us the ability to compare values based on some function that we write. So I'm going to directly use that, but nevertheless we can write our own function and do the same thing. So I'm going to use that, and we need two parameters inside this lambda function of ours. So that those are string numbers, and once we are inside, we'll return -1 if our number 1 plus number 2 is greater than number 2 plus number 1. Else we'll return 1 in this case. So we want this, and then we want to return our then we want to join our whole numbers in the list of nums and convert it into integer, and again convert that back into string that we have. So that way we'll have the array in the end. We can also do to see how our array looks after sorting. So now let's see how it performs for this. So we want to join, yes, and we have this string, we have the array in the way that we want 9, 5, 34, 30 and 0. So, and now let's run it for use example test cases, and the one test case that I found. So we are seeing the positive result for our algorithm, and now let's submit our code and see how it performs for on all the test cases. So it has been accepted and it's pretty fast. So this would be the algorithm to solve the largest number, and the time complexity of this algorithm is n log n, O of n for sorting, and n log n for O of n for iterating the array for converting into the string, and n log n for the sorting based on comparison. And our space complexity is, you could say it's O of n, but we will be ignoring that since we are not considering the output array. So that is how you solve this problem, and I hope you guys are liking my solution. Let me know if you have any particular problem that you want me to solve, and I will come up with new algorithm tomorrow. Thank you. Have a nice day.